My stepfather, Charlie Tuttle, he died 6 months ago in our house.
Okay.
And she looked at me and she said, well, I told a story to the policeman about how my stepdad killed himself.
But I was lying.
Oh my. In the master bedroom, Mr. Tuttle is laying face down on the bed.
The family found him like this?
Yes, sir.
Upon initial examination of the scene, detectives noted that, in fact, the victim still had a .22 caliber in his hands.
And there was a single entry gunshot wound to the back of the head, and there is no exit.
What an odd way to shoot yourself.
Most gun suicides, the person is sitting erect and the gun is fired into the temple. It's extremely uncommon to see someone lie on their stomachs and shoot themselves in the back of the head. There's a shoe print on the door next to the door handle assembly.
Witnesses claim that they broke the door in after they heard the gunshot.
They then speak to the wife of the victim, whose name is Jackie Tuttle. She's 42 years of age. She says the evening progressed in a normal manner, except for the fact that Charlie was drinking heavily during dinner. Jackie reports to the officers that her husband seemed to be very distressed after dinner and continued to drink and said he was going to bed.
So around midnight, Sarah and I went down and put a movie in downstairs. That's when we heard the gunshot.
And that's when she became so distressed and she could not continue conversing with the officers because of her emotional state.
Hoping to learn why Charlie was distressed, investigators turned to Jackie's daughter, 19-year-old Sarah Reynolds.
They ask her to describe the events of the evening, separate from her mother, and she tells precisely the same story.
So after dinner, Charlie went to bed, and Mom and I watched a movie in the living room.
Please be with me. Be with me, please.
And it was about 1:30 when she heard a loud bang.
What was that?
Charlie!
We went upstairs, but his door was locked. We tried to force the door to open, but it wouldn't budge.
And her mother said, go get the neighbor, he can help us. And she did that.
The neighbor came over and kicked the door in, and that's when we found him on the bed.
Now, I know this is difficult, Sarah, but can you think of any reason that Charlie may have wanted to end his life?
Yeah. He was just so different since the accident.
About a year earlier, he'd been in a very serious car accident.
Come here, honey. Come here, let me help you. Please, here, let's get this out of the way.
He was struck from behind by another car. It injured Charlie's neck and caused him pain in his neck and upper back.
His personality changed after that. He was so down about everything, constantly called out of work.
He became more depressed. He drank more. Now, all of that put together certainly sounds like someone who may be willing to end their days. By law, the coroner determines the method of death and the manner.
Okay, thank you.
The coroner's office is fully informed of the details about Charlie's recent history and his motor vehicle accident and his depression, and the coroner rules it as a suicide, and the matter is closed, or so everyone thought.
6 months later, an unexpected visitor shows up at CSPD.
My stepfather, Charlie Tuttle, he died 6 months ago in our house.
Okay.
And she looked at me and she said, well, I told a story to the policeman about how my stepdad killed himself.
But I was lying.
Hey, honey, can you grab me the parsley?
What's all this?
Something special for Charlie.
Jackie had actually picked up a bottle of Crown Royal whiskey, some cigars, and a fishing magazine.
Wow, Mom.
Right?
And Sarah thought that was kind of unusual because Jackie and Charlie had been arguing quite a bit lately.
And she suspected the marriage was coming to an end.
I thought it was her way of showing him she still loved him and wanted to make things work. And then when Charlie came home, he was in such a good mood.
Oh, wow. It's not my birthday.
No?
Oh, are you making your famous meatballs?
She said he was quite surprised and happy to see them fixing a nice meal for dinner.
And when we sat down to dinner, Mom and Charlie were reminiscing about old times.
This looks great.
Thank you.
Oh. Man, does the sauce taste funny to you?
No, I think it's fine.
I think the horseradish went bad. Yeesh.
He didn't care for the shrimp cocktail, but he certainly ate everything else and drank his beer as he normally did.
And then Mom wanted to watch a movie, but Charlie said he's going to bed to read his fishing mag.
Do you remember what time that was?
No, I just remember the movie started and I must have totally passed out.
And that struck me. I passed out? Why did you pass out? Were you drinking?
No, I just remember feeling so tired all of a sudden. I couldn't keep my eyes open. And then I woke up around 1:30.
The house was quiet. The movie was on pause.
Her mother, Jackie, wasn't there, and so she's sitting there on the couch, and she heard this loud boom from upstairs.
Mom?
Her mother is holding a green bath towel, and protruding from the bath towel is a gun.
My mom threatened to kill me if I said anything.
But she told him that I'm coming in to tell the truth because I have so much guilt.
I can't sleep. I have nightmares about it.
Do you have any idea why your mother wanted to kill Charlie?
Yeah, she's greedy.
She said he had a $49,000 insurance policy, and she wanted that money.
And she got it too.
So my first step is to go to the coroner's office. I inform the coroner of the new development, and the coroner agrees to review the report.
The witnesses claimed that Mr. Tuttle had been drinking heavily, but that's not what we're seeing in his toxicology results.
The blood alcohol content of Charlie was 0.01. That is not even legally impaired, let alone drunk.
So Joe took an unusual step, and that was to contact the funeral director who embalmed the body of Charlie.
I said, well, in my experience, I've seen over 100 gunshot wounds to the head from people who kill themselves.
There was something that just wasn't quite right about this one. I actually remember it quite well. Let's see what we got here. What was the cause of death?
Suicide. Gunshot to the back of the head.
Really? And when I looked at the hole on the inside of the skull, it was much larger, but still symmetrical. Most of the time, you don't get a perfect 90-degree angle.
He said, at that point in time, I was suspicious that this was, in fact, not a suicide, but he went on with the embalming anyway.
And with that, we decided to reopen the case.
Kenda and his team start by tracking down Charlie Tuttle's widow at her new home.
We tell her, your daughter came to report that you killed your husband and swore her to secrecy.
She's lying. It's an absolute lie.
Now, Mrs. Tuttle, why would your daughter make up a story like that?
It's obvious. She wants more money.
And we looked at her and we said, excuse me, what do you mean by more money? She said, there was a life insurance policy that was worth $49,000. I received the $49,000. I felt guilty about having all that money. And Sarah, who was a starving beauty college student, had no money.
I gave her 10 grand to finish school. I wanted to help her. I wanted her to get on her own 2 feet for once.
Sarah was the kind of kid where she'd never really had to go out and earn a living.
You know, I guess my daughter's a bit of a sponge.
So what's all this have to do with Sarah saying you killed your husband?
Like I said, she wanted more of Charlie's insurance money.
Jackie tells Joe that she burns through that $10,000 just in a few months.
So you're friends with Jackie Tuttle?
Yeah, I know Jackie. I've known her since 11th grade. Back when we lived in Texas. Almost 25 years.
So we have not just a friend, but a really good friend who should have some insight into these people.
And I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but...
She said, well, I knew that Charlie was having an affair.
An affair?
Yeah, he had a girlfriend. Jackie was devastated.
We've got to find somebody else now that may know about that. And we determined that Charlie had a best friend, and we want to know what that friend knows about the affair.
Excuse me, Hugh Hines?
Yes, sir.
I'm Sergeant Kenda. We talked on the phone. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Charlie and I worked together for nearly 7 years at the power station. He was an excellent mentor to me. We were close enough where we shared very personal information. And so I know that Jackie and Charlie were having difficulties in their relationship.
We say, well, Hugh, we hear a story that maybe Charlie was having an affair with some woman named Betsy.
No way, man. He wasn't having an affair with Betsy.
Charlie and Betsy were friends. There was certainly no sexual relationship. Charlie never did anything except work and fish.
Charlie, as a matter of fact, had told Jackie that he was just fed up with her and he was going to move out and divorce her. And it's just because he wanted away from Jackie.
I want to talk to the first person who entered that home after the shooting.
Sarge, Eric, Fillmore's here to see you.
Come on, have a seat.
The neighbor who kicked down Charlie's door.
I've got some crime scene photos. Would you mind taking a look at them?
Yeah, sure. No, this is not what I saw.
That's not the way I found it. It was different in the photo than how I came upon the scene.
You're gonna like this.
He confirmed that Jackie did receive $49,000 from the insurance company, paid her daughter Sarah $10,000, and they have bank deposits into Sarah's account of 10 grand.
Okay, but Jackie already told us that.
Yeah, but you know what's strange is her other daughter, Jennifer, didn't get a penny.
And why would the mother give money to one daughter, not the other?
So we go to find her, and we find that she's living with her grandmother, Debbie.
Thank you.
Can I get you anything else?
No, thank you. So, Sarah, the one thing that's been bothering us is why would your mother give you money from the life insurance and not your sister?
And Sarah was dumbstruck that we knew that. She just looked at us. She had nothing to say. Nothing.
I think it was to keep Sarah's mouth shut.
Grammy.
What do you mean with that?
Debbie went on to say that the day before the shooting took place, she had gotten a phone call from Jackie.
Hello?
Hey, Mom. Are you busy?
No, I just got home from work. What's going on?
Debbie is a nurse, and her daughter, Jackie, wanted to know if she combined a sleeping agent called Restoril with alcohol, would that make somebody really sleepy? Would it make them fall very, very soundly asleep?
Oh, yeah, but you really shouldn't mix those. Why are you asking?
I'm just curious. Actually, Mom, I'm sorry, I gotta go. There's someone at the door.
Okay, I'll talk to you later. It was a very, very odd phone call.
Kenda wonders, did Jackie mix Restoril into the cocktail sauce in order to put her victim and a potential eyewitness into a deep sleep?
Now, does Jackie have access to that drug?
Charlie's doctor prescribed it for him after his car accident to help him fall asleep easier.
What are you guys doing here?
Jackie, I have a warrant for your arrest for the murder of Charles Tuttle.
You can't be serious.
Cuff her.
Come with me.
Sarah is lying. She just wants the money.
And I looked at her and I said, well, Jackie, you have a problem.
Well, she wasn't the only one telling us that.
But I didn't do it.
It's not what the evidence says.
So we're going to take you in front of a jury of your peers and let them decide about your future. Come with us.
And Jackie got real silent and looked at Joe and said, I want a lawyer. She was in taken into custody, taken into county jail, and booked.
Jackie Tuttle is charged with first-degree murder. Her daughter, Sarah Reynolds, is not charged with any crime.
Unfortunately, you never can predict what's going to happen during the trial. And Jackie's mother took the stand and recanted a lot of the information that she had given before.
In the court, you need proof beyond a reasonable doubt. So now the jury is left with making a decision. Who's lying? Everybody's lying. And they found Jackie not guilty of first-degree murder. Charlie went to his grave, and nobody paid the price. It's the reality of the court system. You're innocent until you're proven guilty.
In my opinion, I don't believe Charlie killed himself. I think it was a wrong decision on their part. I think she got away with killing Charlie.